Welcome to India. We will watch as it goes through many changes throughout history and understand the effects it has on people in the present day. Before the 1600s, India was just a piece of land with people minding their own business and going through the stages of life. It was mostly peaceful, and people just had to think about their family and land. Nowadays, you look at India and you see lost land and violence. You might be thinking, how did it end up here? Right? Well, it mostly started because of the British. They wanted to colonize India and harvest their resources for profit, which they did, but it left most of the population of India in ruin because of this. Even though this was happening, the Hindus and Muslims of India appreciated the British's control of government because of some conflict between the two. But things took a turn for the worse. In 1919, people gathered around to peacefully protest how the British government was heavily taxing them. The British treated the people of India as less than humans and didn't allow any gathering of any sort. When they got together, Reginald Edward Harry Dyer, the commander of the British military, opened fire on everyone in the gathering. They locked the gates so no one could get out. People were so desperate to survive, they jumped down a huge deep well to survive. This event is known as the Amritsar Massacre. After World War II, the British, along with many other countries, realized that colonizing isn't cool. Plus, the people of India already started to protest more about the matter. The British had to come up with a way to leave India nicely, so they decided to make a partition. At first, the British didn't want to split up India, but instead keep Hindus and Muslims together. But Muslims didn't exactly like the idea. So as a solution to this, Muhammad Ali Jinnah proposed the idea of having Muslims own a bit of India and call it Pakistan. Alright, the partition. It was basically the British's way to declare India independent, but instead, it made India and Pakistan independent. Many people had different opinions on their partition. Some wanted India to split, and others wanted it to be whole. A famous figure that had a strong opinion on the partition was Gandhi. He saw the partition as an evil plan. He wanted India to be whole. He blamed the Congress for an act of madness against the people, but at the same time, some Muslims saw that they wouldn't have had a chance to form a government if India was whole because the Hindus would take over. Once the partition passed, mass violence began with the migration of millions. In 1971, East Pakistan turned into Bangladesh, mainly because it was hard for the rest of Pakistan to communicate and work over in East Pakistan because of the distance between the two. Anyways, more modern day issues you can see is the uneven split of territory that was caused by the partition. When the British were making the partition, they got a lawyer that knew nothing about India to split up the land between the Hindus and Muslims. Because of the splitting of land, millions of people were afraid of what could happen and moved to their new homeland, which caused them to have millions of refugees. If you are into confusing violence and pointless conflict, then let's talk about Kashmir. You know, the place in India, not the wool. The violence in Kashmir is between Pakistan, India, and China. They are all mostly fighting for the same reasons, for the land and resources. Pakistan and India are using Kashmir as a way to attack each other, and the people of Kashmir are in the middle of it all. They have to face violence every day. What makes things even worse is that both Pakistan and India have nuclear weapons. With that being said, it's apparent that since the colonization of the British back in the 1600s, India has been stuck in a world of distraught. So much violence and lost people, all looking for a place to stay. Will they ever have a place to go?